ETH, we start with 1 hour chart. We want to see whether we can get any trade setup for today. Mostly we're looking for buy, because if we can see based on 1 hour chart, even based on higher time frame, if we move to 4 hour chart, we can see we have been within this correction. And now we want to see can we get any reversal, at least to this top. And as we can see, the price is almost at this low. That means if you get any trade setup for what buy in terms of the risk and reward, can give us a really good profit. Okay, that means we can get a really good trade. First of all, if we refer to my last video when the price was here, we mentioned if we want to look for buy, we need to get the sharp move correction, but we didn't get the price reverse. Now we're looking at this correction. One thing I need to highlight here, that in my last video when the price was exactly here, we mentioned one of the way to trade in case this is the price start from here was to have entry above this top. Okay, but we didn't call it as a trade setup because I mentioned this one can be really risky. I just leave it for traders. Okay, that's why. Then I just leave it, as I mentioned, I will leave it for the traders, whether they have experience to trade or not. But we mentioned if the price tag, but if you see it's not moving within a few hours, you should take out the trade. Price tag, they have enough times to take out the trade. That means they shouldn't stay with the trade. That's why every time you want to have entry buying, I mean above the top. When I say above the top, I mean referring to this one. That's why every time I mention within 1 or 2, maximum 3 hours is not moving, you should take out the trade. The first, second, third, four, almost 4 to 5 hours, there was enough time. That doesn't mean they shouldn't be in the trade anymore. Okay, as you can see, after a few hours, if it's not moving, the price can reverse. That's why every time I mention we want the price tag and continue. Okay, by the way, now we want to see how we can trade it. Okay, and one more thing I want to highlight here. Sometimes if the price tag can continue really fast, similar to ADA, if you move to ADA, I want to just show as an example. All right, here. If anyone was following me on ADA, when the price was within this correction, I mentioned having entry above this top or here can be a good idea, because at that time I didn't give entry above this because the price was exactly within this candle. Okay, that's why if anyone was following right now, they could be in this trade. Even I mentioned this trade is we trading at the top of the correction. All right, but still we could manage to take the trade. Okay, now the thing is, sometimes the reason also we mentioned that having entry above this one can be a trade, but that's why I mentioned it's really risky and we didn't call it the trade setup. As I mentioned, we leave it for the traders. If they have experience, they can trade, because a stop loss was here. That's why I mentioned if this one moved, then it can give us a really good trade. But after 2 to 3 hours, not moving, you shouldn't be in trade anymore. Take out the trade and break it event. Okay, now we want to see what's the next, whether we can look for trade or not. All right, okay. As we can see, the price haven't broke this low yet. Can we expect this one as a correction? Okay, for next move, because if we get any trade, again our stop loss will be here in terms of the risk and reward. The only thing is how deep this one can go. Can this one turn to a correction for one more drop in relative to this? For sure, if the price break this low, and especially here, any reverse, we take it. Any reverse, that's mean we have to look for buy, not be just a drop and break. We cannot take the trade. But no, how about if the price reverse from here? We do take it broken this lower here. How we can trade it? Okay, first we move to higher time frame. You see what we have there. As you can see, based on higher time frame, after this breakout, every time we mention, I mean the drop, we mentioned the price can drop, we get this. And now we can see the way it's moving is really corrective. Okay, at least if we don't get the reversal, we can get the bigger correction for next drop. Okay, right now we don't need to talk about that. The only thing is we want to see whether this one turn to another correction similar to what we have here for one more drop. That's mentioned if the price break this low, then we can look for a reversal, or the price can reverse from here. Okay, by the way, even the only things right now we're looking for, if we get a trade setup for buy, any buy within this range, we take it. But if it is not moving, we start to manage it. Okay, because we are not sure this one can, because we know if this one turn to a corrective, we move for sure, we can get the correction for one more drop. But how about if this is the start of the up move? In this case, we want to see how we can trade. We will move to 1 hour. Okay, right now we don't have really good trade setup. Okay, because as we can see here is correcting, and mostly we can expect one more drop if this is a correction in relative to this. But how about if this is a move and this one is a corrective within this move? Maybe the price doesn't break and it's reverse from here. That's why if we consider this one as a sharp move with a correction, we can have entry above this or here with the stop loss here. Again, this one is really risky because if anyone wants to trade by this, what they want price sharply move. Okay, and the only things we call it, I mean, we just point on this because even you get the trade from here or here, your stop loss here, if this one move, it can give really good trade. But it's really risky. It depends whether traders they can take or not because the price can tag and reverse. Okay, and it depends again. This one we don't call it the trade setup. I just leave it for the traders. They see whether they can take it. I mean, trade it or not. For me, I will just follow, and if I see the price, the possibility of the price for the sharp move, I will take. If not, no. All right. And rather than that, the only way if the price reverse from here, we get the sharp move, wait for the correction. That means we don't trade having entry above this. Wait, sharp move, correction, then we take it if we get. All right. Anyway, we don't have a really good trade setup. The only things is by having entry above this, which is really risky again. I just leave it for the traders. The best things is we get the sharp move, flag, we look for buy with the stop loss below this. Okay, and we should know that this one, even if the price reverse, can turn to a correction for next move drop. Next drop. That's why if the price come to this top, we see it's not moving, we don't stay with the trade. We just take out the trade. And one more things I need to highlight here that may make everything more clear. If we put our trend line here, that's why any sharp move, flag, we can look for buy. Maybe this one make everything more clear for the traders. We just wait for the breakout of this trend line. Okay, that's why we want the sharp move flag. By the way, we just follow the chart. If I see any update and trade setup, then I will share. Thanks.